Benji said he just wants everything to be in there, he wants everything to work, and if it doesn't, it's on me.
Game on!
Started off as a heavy diesel mechanic, but ever since I was, 13, 14, we started engineering, learned a lot from the old man with building Speedway and building stock cars. And yeah, a lot of self-taught engineering skills and bits and pieces. Went from there to diesel mechanic, and then we went from there to starting up our own business, Humphries Steel and Performance. Started off with more the Speedway, branched out when Benji come forward with this, but yeah, so background Speedway, diesel mechanic, and just general race cars. With this car, wasn't many available off-the-shelf parts for the rear end, being an FD chassis. So we fabricated everything in the rear end. We put the Winter's quick change diff in there, fabricated a complete custom subframe, all arms, customised the knuckles to fit the dual caliper kits, and we just played with roll centres and everything in the rear to just get it handling how we wanted. So yeah, custom subframe, everything in the rear. Ford at the front, full custom subframe again, and just changed all the steering rack height. It's still got a standard FD steering rack in it and an off-the-shelf Widesfab steering kit in there. Benji supplied the front, everything else I had to supply. He just wants everything to be in there, he wants everything to work, and if it doesn't, it's on me. So we went through and we built everything nice and strong, and kind of coming from the Speedway background, we knew how strong everything can be, but then we heading into this style build, we had to try and back it off a bit, keep the strength. Well, not as much strength, but just back it off to get the weight down as well. We used a lot of chromoly materials and all the arms and subframes. That all, turned out quite light, but it's all holding up pretty good with a little test that Benji gave it on the wall yesterday. So I've known Benji for quite a few years, just for the Speedway background. And then we started up Humphries Steel and Performance. Then one day he just messaged me saying, I want to build a 6-rotor RX-7. And we're like, oh yeah, cool. And then, I don't know, a month or two later, it all happened. Shot the PPRE, picked up dummy block, got into it. And yeah, he's been pretty good to work with. Originally he had all these ideas in his head, like, yes, I want this, this, and this. Then I'd say, well, why don't we do this, this, and this? And then in the end, it was just build me this car and just do it how you want. And he was pretty happy with how it all turned out, and it was just good to have all the ideas I've had floating in my head for a long time to put into a build, and we finally managed to put them all into one. Yeah, the first meeting with Gareth's been good to work with, the PPRE. So the first meeting was when we went to, shot over to Wanganui, met Benji there, did all the introductions and picked up the gearbox and long block, dummy engine. But no, he's been definitely good to work with, just combining ideas and on engine, chassis components, everything. Even just working on weight distribution with each other and being good. So definitely the most challenging is Benji pretty much started with the smallest platform you could get, being an RX-7, pretty small car, and then he wanted the biggest components you could get in it, with the motor being over 1 meter long, biggest fuel cell we could find. We had to put the biggest radiator in there. Not to mention Benji's the tallest driver out there. So we had to, it was a bit of a challenge to get everything to fit in there while trying to keep it all inside the wheelbase. So we didn't want any excess kind of overhang, and keep the weight distribution exactly where we want it. So yeah, challenge was to get driver in the correct position, because ideally we need him as comfy as possible while keeping everything good. So we ended up having to cut the whole floor out of the car and lower the floor, whole firewall out of the car, and pretty much that engine sits beside your leg. But it all worked out pretty perfect, exactly where we were wanting it. But yeah, that was definitely the biggest challenge, was just trying to fit everything into the smallest car. So the most kind of satisfying part of the build is just, how much it gets out there, and just with today having it on display, the crowd around it, just showcasing our work, and how happy Benji is when he gets out of the car. He's wrapped with the build, he's wrapped with how it goes. So happy customer is always good. So yeah, that's pretty rewarding once you get out there. You see it on track handling, burning tyres off, and yeah, it's definitely rewarding. Being a passenger in it is, like we said, we made the driver as comfy as possible. and if all the car being so small, there's not much room left for the passengers, so it's tight. And with Benji learning to drift, it's good, but now he's getting the hang of it. It's definitely a good ride for sure. Pretty enjoyable, pretty fun. No, he's getting the hang of it quick. Fast learner, and well, he's driven that many different motorsports. He's a fast learner. I mean, he's got good support around him with the whole team and everyone just, you know, pitching in, and he's, as a driver, he can give good feedback too, so we can put that back into the chassis and alter setup and get it to pretty much exactly how he likes it and what he wants. From the get-go, we're pretty wrapped how reliable it's been. If we could do it all again, yep, we definitely would. Definitely wouldn't say no. The only thing is every time you'd go again, you have to do it bigger and better, so we'll see what comes up next.